Hello friends, hello families, hello class. It's great to see you here today. I'm excited to be making another lesson. An idea I had to create a mosaic jewelry for Mother's Day using beads. And this is mosaic beads like by pressing. So we're impressing different beads into air dry clay and creating like the tile composition, sort of like you see in bathrooms, like mosaics. And we talked about what mosaics are. And I got this idea from looking at an old vintage earring. It's a clip-on earring. That gave me the idea of creating this beautiful flower here. As you can see, so similar as a pendant. Okay, so we're gonna be using air dry clay today and a bunch of different beautiful beads. And your station might get pretty silver or gold beads. A little string like this as well that is already strung so you can go around. So you're also gonna need, so you're gonna get some beads. You're gonna also need a little bit of clay. So I just started, I picked up some of these tiles. They're kind of pendant ready tile from beer cups. I think they're like just soft and they're not real bead. They're jewelry beer cups. They're not real, and they're softer on the edges. Okay, so what we're gonna do, as you can see here, these started drying out already. Actually, it dries so much that it almost, you can almost take it out of it if you don't use it, but it feels, you can feel it in. So I'm just gonna put some fresh clay into my pendant like this, and I'm gonna push all the way to the side of it. So I don't go higher, but I will take some clay and I squish it in there. Squish, squish, like that, all the way around. Like so. Squish, just like that. Push it in there. Like that. And I want a nice, even, flat surface when I'm done. This one is already dry, but I want it done nice and flat. And now that it's prepared like that, all we can do is pick up our special beads. So I have a couple of these that are already strung through in different colors. So we can use that one. It's a little baggy, so I might have that in a class. And all you do is, if you have a longer piece, I'll show you on a longer piece. So if you have a, these are shorter. Let's just say I have a longer piece. So to show you how to cut it around. Well, these are all pre-cut. Little something that I have to actually cut. So this one will be longer than the cup. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start pushing into the clay all the way in, about halfway in really, but for little hands it seems like all the way in, because you gotta really push in all the way around. And you saw how I have this one left over. Now I take my scissors and I'll cut the rest off like this. Okay, just like that. That's my first step, creating this. So pretty. Or I can also just embellish with different beads. And if your group has shells, you can even, like in our previous video, I have a video on just shell pendant. You can add some shells and beads. So you can ask in your group for shells if you want to add shells to this. We can just, I'll show you a way with shells. So all you do is just add some shells. Find your pretty shells that you like. Nice little shards. And push them in. Create a little mosaic with your shells. Create a beautiful composition. The colors you like. You gotta pick your favorite colors to go together. Yellow, orange, white. There's little purple shells, all kinds of shells. See? Dark brown, light brown, white. This is a good job for little hands. So you can push it in like so. Okay, this is one way, making a bead mosaic. Now, I'll go back to this one. We're gonna put 4 beads this way and then 5 smaller bits this way. Okay, this one fell out. Let's push that back in until it dries. Okay, so I'm gonna take a piece of clay again. And I am going to push it in like so. Very easy. Okay. Now, I'm gonna make a different color combination. So maybe I'll pick smaller white beads here. So I'll go around with the smaller ones, like so. Push it in, around. Be very careful. Push, push. Really wanna embed that in. Cut off the rest. If you have a leftover, cut it out, like so. Now we're gonna cut out these small beads out because they're already on a string, so we're not gonna worry about the string, we're just gonna cut it like so. And now you're gonna need 4 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 of the small ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm gonna push in the red one now. And oh, the way you're pushing it in is 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. So 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. Push it right there next to each other, not one in the middle. Try to put them so that there is space in the middle left for another bead, another color. So push it really well in, like so. If this starts coming out, just push it back in, like that. Okay. Now you choose a color. Maybe I'll do a pearl now. So I'll do pearl in the middle. Okay. Very good. And I'll do little gold beads around. And you can use your pencil to get into it and just push down on it like that. And if it flips and it's not showing, it's showing the hole, you can take it out and put it so that it shows the nice gold part, not the hole. So flip it around and put it the right way if you don't want the hole showing. There's another way where you can just show the holes on purpose too. So, but if you don't want the hole showing, then push it into the clay. you can use a pencil to help you. Broken pencils work perfect because they're flat. See, they have a flat side, so you can push them right in like so. Oops, when it's falling out, don't worry, take it in, put it right back in, and push down on it so it can go into the clay. Maybe add a little more clay, like a little ball, so it holds it. The air dry clay will hold it better. When you have the clay there, just add more and seal it back in. And take the extra clay out with your broken pencil and just squeeze it out and clean it nicely. Okay, just like that. Okay. You can also use a toothpick. We have some toothpicks around class. You might have a little organizer like this. And in our next lesson, we're also gonna learn how to make these fantastic paper beads to create a beautiful bracelet made of paper beads. This one is a pendant necklace and a pretty stretchy bracelet. Okay, and there might be another station that have just materials to make pretty rolled out beads and make a bracelet with that. But right now, I grabbed the toothpick and go around, and you can clean around the edges. You can also take a little bit of water, clean it on the side, the brush on the side, so squeeze out the water really well so it's not too wet, and clean up around the edges and seal it with just a little water. It will activate the air dry clay because it's water based, and it will smooth the edges so that everything stays put nicely so it can dry for you. Rinse your brush again so it's clean. Clean it really well over the edges and get all the areas nice and cleaned up around the clay. Okay, same thing happened here. I had dirty hands and I had a pretty bead that was sparkly heart, and I put my dirty hands all over it. So the way I would clean it is I would go around with a brush and make sure it's nice and clean. All right, so let's make another one, maybe another style. So let's say you don't have a really flat style, you didn't make a pretty style, you just squeeze a couple of beads together like that. You can always like a couple of clay rolls like that and left indentation and uneven surface. What you can do is you can put a bead into that uneven surface there and build around that, or you can add more clay. This is sort of a teardrop, so it doesn't have to be a circle. You can add a little more clay. Around. To even it out. And I'm putting small pieces of clay around my bead. And it might fall out of your hands like it did out of mine a couple of times because it's so tiny. And you don't want to make too big of a pendant because you don't want it to be too large on your mom's neckline. Mine, I made this one out of picked up shells on the beach, barnacles. So I got inspired creating these beautiful pieces. So again, you can use your brush to smooth your clay in. This is air dry clay, so you can use the brush to smooth it if it's getting too dry. And I'm using my fingers to smooth it too, to polish it like that around, so my edges are nice and smooth. I want those edges nice and smooth for my air dry clay, like so. Okay, you can, if some clay gets on top of your bead, we know how to clean it with a brush. You can also wipe some paper towel on it, or just keep brushing until you don't have any dirt on it, clay on it. Let me see, with the paper towel, I'm gonna lay a paper towel and just press. And that picked it right out. And it's nice and clean. We're not gonna forget to make the hole using our straw. I didn't go over that, so don't put it really close to the edge. Put it down so there's enough clay so it doesn't fall through or break through, and push through so it makes a nice little even hole. You can just pull that out and you have a nice hole in there. Okay, at this point you can decide how you're gonna finish. Are you gonna add more beads? Let's try opening one of these. Maybe we find, use this toothpick, some beads we like to add to our composition. Push it in the clay. It's too big. And we'll put some of these golden ones. Use your pencil, especially broken ones work really well. With different colors. When you have little hands, this works much better. So choose the colors you want to create a nice composition. Take some of these out so it's easier to pick up with my nails. I'm gonna use some of these too, and I'm gonna use the back of my brush, back of my pencil. I'm gonna put it where I want it, like situate it where you want it, and then press down in the back of the pencil to push it in. So let's do it again. Let's put it in there, press down with the back of the pencil, like so. And you can keep creating the design that you like around, pushing different beads in. Maybe a little pearl, I like to have a little pearl. There we go. I'm gonna clean up that red bead a little better. I'm gonna use a toothpick to go around. And maybe you would like to try to have beads and shells, so you can add some shells too. Put some shells with it. So pretty and special. Oopsie. Okay, and now we're gonna let it dry a little bit when it's at this consistency, okay? So we're gonna let it dry. So you have different types of ideas that you can use to create your special pendants, depending on what supplies you have on your desk, using beads. And I showed you in this lesson how easy it is to make your own. And lastly, before we go, don't forget to always clean up after yourself and don't leave the desk messy. Don't let any of these expensive beads go down to the floor where students step on it and we will not find them again and they break. So always clean up your station gently and always put your lid back on like so. Ta-da! One last idea, if you don't want beads on it, you can draw and paint using pencil or even scratch out designs using toothpick or paint it using a brush. Like this, and some tempera on watercolors, and you can create pretty design with just colors. As an idea for those who like that better, we have some gold paint too. So maybe your station, maybe red team has beads, maybe yellow team has shells, and maybe green team has different watercolor paints. This one got broken. It's supposed to be yellow, but it still works. I have to tape it together so you can make some geometric designs. And you can even write mom on top. You can scribe it in like this. Do an inscription of mom, like so. That's another way. And a heart. Pretty hard. Like this maybe. Your name here. My daughter's name is Julia. You can write your name. Julia. I should have wrote Julia loves mom. I should have wrote it the other way. I have to redo this. But you get the idea. I'm doing it upside down a little bit, watching my camera how it goes. So those are the different ways we can make a present for Mother's Day. And I'll see you in our next video. I can't wait. Bye-bye.